What's up, guys? This is going to be episode 3 of our podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Christian.
And I am Manny.
And we are your hosts, as I said.
We are your hosts. You guys,
today we are hosting you.
We are hosting you. You are in our home, and we thank you so much for being here with us today. We actually have some really incredibly awesome stuff that you won't want to miss out. We got some controversial topics that we're going to be speaking about, and we want to create a conversation. Have you guys join us in the comment section. If wherever you're listening to us allows for comments, you can, chime in. We want to hear what you have to say. If you want to tell us off, well, you can do that too, I guess.
It'll be great.
It'll be great. A great, big, dysfunctional family. Just don't ask me to let you borrow money, because I probably will, and you'll take like a few years to pay me back. So don't ask me for money, but I'll lend you money. Here, how much do you guys need? Here, let me pull out my wallet.
We have a lot of money now because we are currently sponsored by
Lost in a Memory.
by www.youtube.com/lostinthememory. Who else is sponsoring us?
Snoopy the dog.
Let me get a list on my phone real quick.
Get that list. While you get the list, we want to talk to you about well, first we want to thank you for joining us on the previous podcast. If you joined us, we talked about some interesting stuff, such as we did some movie reviews on some of the hottest movies of the spring. We talked about how shows on TV do not necessarily how they portray things like relationships in such a over the top, unrealistic way. And the spicy part of last week's podcast, or last podcast, whatever, was we actually told some stories about some weird relationships of ours. So if you haven't listened to it, wait till after this podcast. You can always go back and listen to that one, episode 2.
This is right. And you can still share your stories, because we would love to read about them. Mm-hmm. So we don't feel like we're the only ones.
No, we know we're not the only ones. I know you guys listening at home. Think about the weirdest relationship you ever had. Now tell us about it in the comments so we can make fun of you.
Like weird shit. We want weird shit.
But not weird shit.
Like weird sexy.
Like, yeah, that's good. That's good. All right, guys. We were talking, me and my co-host here, Christian, we were talking before we started this episode, before we hit the record button, about nostalgia and how it's currently all the rage in today's culture. So
it's like living in the past. But that's awesome, because the past was such a warm and inviting time. We had the Holocaust and slavery.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm just kidding. That's going to be another...
That's controversial. Demonetized on YouTube.
That was supposed to lead into the offensive topic, which we'll cover after nostalgia.
Yeah.
What we really mean is when you look back and... I don't know.
Well, think about this. For example, most... How do you call it? The popular movies nowadays. Let's start there. They're mostly remakes of old stuff. And reboots like Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. The new Spider-Man movie is great. But that's like the third reboot we've gotten in like...
In 10 years? It came out... Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire came out in 2007. Uh-huh. And Spider-Man Homecoming...
2007.
With another reboot in the middle, with 2 titles, was released in 2017.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
And not only that, like that's reboots, but then there's, I guess there are also reboots. For example, the Lady Ghostbusters.
That's true.
That movie was terrible.
They're doing Ocean's 8 now, instead of like Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12, but it's all female. Nothing wrong with that, by the way.
Nope, we support it.
We're not starting our offensive shit yet.
Not yet. Or are we?
Well,
here's the thing. Here's what I think about like gender swapping. That's cool. Like that's cool. I mean, there's, for example, I like Batman, and there's like a story with the gender swap Joker, a female Joker. Like
Flashpoint.
Yeah, Flashpoint. Thank you. Like that's perfectly fine. But if you're gonna do it for a purpose that serves the story, not so much to like conform to, I don't know, because I don't know. You know what
I know what you're saying. Yeah, like do it for the story. Don't do it because you want women to have you know, why can't Batman be a woman? Like, it's not that he or she cannot. It's just I feel like people deliberately do these things, like doing gender swaps or race swaps with characters, just because you don't want to offend people. And I think that's wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not opposed to seeing like a black Batman or like a Mexican Batman. Bat hombre.
They did I think a Mexican Spider-Man, Miles Morales, or was he Black Spider-Man?
Miles Morales. Yeah, but here's the thing: like they did it. I'm not saying that doing it one way is wrong, one way is right. But in my opinion, Miles Morales was separate from Peter Parker. It wasn't just like Peter Parker. Like, what would Peter Parker be like? Pedro Parqueador in Mexico, dude. Pedro. No. But they didn't just do it like, oh, let's just make Spider-Man Mexican and we'll sell more comics in Latin America or whatever. They did a whole new character.
And they both existed.
And Miles had his own, like, he was his own person. You know, he had his own personality, and Peter Parker was still Peter Parker, and that was cool. But, like, let's say they're doing, I think Marvel did a female Thor.
Really?
I mean, I haven't looked into that, but yeah, my point is just don't do it for the heck of it. You know, just don't do it just to do it, but do it like for a purpose that serves the story. Like Miles, that was a great example. And we are into the controversial topics. Just an FYI, guys, not all of our episodes are gonna be controversial. You know, we're getting real on this one. If you listen to the previous episodes, they were a little bit goofy. Every once in a while, we want to get real with you guys. You know, start a real conversation. And the next episode, we'll probably be talking about like poop and farts and fun, you know, funny stuff.
Yeah, we're starting off, you know, intelligent and very
attractive.
Yes, because we're trying to get into all of your pants.
What? No.
All of your digital pants.
Digital pants, and by pants we mean your phones. Subscribe to our podcast.
That was so clever. That was
very clever.
That was clever. Let's give Manny a round of applause.
So
fuck yeah!
Yeah! With that leads me to my next segue or whatever. Segue? Is that what it is? Segment?
I think segways are the little scooters at the mall cops right now.
But they're also like a transition, right? Like that's a segue to my next topic. Would that be right?
Segment? Or
segue into the next segment. See what maybe I'm using the word wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm Mexican, guys. Come on.
Next week we'll cover grammar. And we're going to have a special guest, and we're going to have an English teacher.
We are?
No.
Oh.
But that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool, an English teacher. But my next segment, in fact, I already forgot my next segment. Oh my gosh, dude. I legit forgot what the next segment was, you guys.
Offensive stuff, right?
Yeah, we are on offensive stuff. But that was a perfect segue into... But then we got sidetracked, so...
Damn it, grammar.
Grammar's in the background. Sorry, guys.
Let's just start with offensive stuff. So, what does everybody get offended over nowadays? Everything. So, let's start with the first everything. Assuming gender. Like, what? I guess I should have clarified. We do apologize ahead of time to anyone we may or may not offend. Because we are sorry if we don't offend you also. But these are just like things that everyone has an opinion on. Whether it's a good opinion or a bad opinion. Let's voice them. But we're going to share our opinions.
Well, let me start with the story, because that's an interesting topic that you brought up, you know, assuming genders. I can see both sides of the fence. But sometimes people can honestly make a mistake. Like, for example, I'll tell you a story about, a personal story based on that. This is the
story of a girl.
Hit the intro music right now to my next segment. Personal story with Manny. Give me that theme song.
Oh, like in real life?
No, like sing to me, bro.
Oh, okay. This is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world.
Wait, is that copyrighted?
Oh, fuck, it might be.
God damn it, Christian.
By what's the band's name?
Don't mention it. Maybe
God
they
damn
won't
it.
notice. All right.
I think
Please sponsor us, whoever sings that song.
I think they're called 9 Years or something.
9 years. Well, we'll make a
And
band
then-
called 10 Years, and then we'll cover all their songs.
Yeah.
But we'll make
Let's
it
do it.
slightly more awesome. Anyways, guys, so tell me what you guys think about this. So check this out. Picture this. I'm working as a waiter at a restaurant. I cannot give away the restaurant's name, but let's just say there's a lot of barrels there. At this point, and this is not a race thing. It's not about race, but I will mention my guests. They were of the Native American race, and I went up to them, and I don't remember because this was probably 4 years ago or so. I was serving them, and I went up to the table, and I go up. They had a little kid with them, and then I asked, "Oh, okay, what would you like? What would you like for her?" And the parents lost their shit.
I did the same thing.
I think I've heard of a lot of people that have done something similar to that. The boy, I mean, it's a young boy, so at this point, his face was really round and had really long hair, which is part of their culture,
Yeah.
And that was a mistake on me. I should not have assumed that kid's gender, I should have been like, oh, well, now I know, now I learned that mistake, and now from that point on, I'm like, what would you like for the little one? Or like, hey, buddy, or hey, pal, what would you like? But yeah, okay, what would you like for her? And then this guy, the dad, I assume it was the dad, not only did he, get offended, but he also made the kid feel bad. Like, oh, did you see that? Like, he taps the kid, like, hey, he thinks you're a girl. And I was like,
Dad of the Year.
Dad of the Year award goes to that man. My point is, I mean, mistakes are made, but I don't know. I don't know. That's just my perspective. I can't really go into it because, I mean, when I was younger, sometimes I would, answer the phone and people would think I was a girl, because you have a high pitched voice, At that point, I'd be like, hey, what the heck? I'm a boy,
Life was hard as a, what is it, prepubescent?
Prepubescent with
Yeah,
the,
is
with
that
the
the
high
right
pitched
word?
voice, yeah.
Prepubescent boy? Yeah, fuck.
So
Thanks, society, for making us feel bad about ourselves. No, I totally get that though. I've totally done that, and it wasn't the parents that lost their shit. It was actually the kid, and I guess she didn't really lose her shit. It was a little girl, but she had a short haircut,
Oh.
And I look back on it now, and I'm like, dang, I don't know why, because I normally do say, and for the little one, because sometimes you just don't know. But anyway, when you are obviously like, let's say a 200-pound, 6-foot-tall man with a beard, and someone calls you sir, and that's not how you identify, then why are you gonna get all bent out of shape for it? Like, it's an honest mistake. When did that happen? Like, when did society start being offended by that? Like, when guys? The fuck?
I agree with you. Okay, so there's two ways to approach that situation. So let's say I actually assume I identify as a female. I don't know why I did the deep voice, but just to
Because it happens. It happens.
yeah, it happens, and all right, that's cool. You're not hurting anyone. If you want to identify as a female, when you're a male, that's fine. That's who you are. But you can't hold it against somebody like, hey, hello, sir, how you doing? Oh, I'm actually a female. I'm very offended. At that point, you could correct the person, hey, actually, I identify as a female. If you could, address me as such. Oh, my apologies. I apologize for that, and then you correct yourself.
Right. It's perfectly fine if you identify as whatever you want. Just, you don't need to be offended,
And that leads me to I saw this video on YouTube. And this guy became a meme. He's that guy that says such and such, change my mind. Abortion is bad, change my mind. Really controversial stuff.
Oh yeah. The guy sitting at the booth.
At the booth.
Yeah.
He normally goes to
I
colleges.
like those memes.
I forgot what his name is, but yeah. His videos are very interesting because he actually went to a college and he was speaking about that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So he's hell bent hey, if you were born with female genitalia, then you're a female. So I'm gonna call you a she, a her. I'm gonna address you as such. If you were born with male genitalia, same thing applies. You're a him, you're a man. Even if you get, like surgery or whatever, you're still a man. Like that.
Yeah.
That was his point of view, and he wanted people to change his point of view. So there was this girl who was really passionate. She even started crying and everything, but she was like, just like, they had complete opposite views. Like there was no common ground. He was trying to build common ground with her, but she was like not having it. So she's like, no, when you're like, and like she was very agitated. Like when you, like she was, I guess, and see, I'm kind of afraid to say this, but she was a lesbian based on what the how she portrayed herself, and she wanted to be addressed as a I forgot what she wanted to be addressed as, but she's like, what would you address me as? And he's like, okay, you're a woman, you're a she. Okay, but I haven't told you what I want you to address me as, so you can't address me as a she. That's considered like assault. She was considering it like assault. Like, I feel like you're assaulting me by doing that. And then he kept making great points, and she made her points, like also like they were valid on her beliefs. But like once you get into that, like if somebody addresses you as a, like something that you don't identify as, and you say that that's assault, I feel like that's diminishing actual assault.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it takes away from the like the meaning of what assault actually is. It's like, that's assault?
Like, dang.
Like, I don't know.
So all I can say is and that this is without trying to offend people, like people are very passionate about their beliefs. Sometimes too passionate, where sometimes you close yourself to the other points of views. And I think I like cheese. That's what I think. And you know what I think also? I think we're coming to the end of this segment. We are going to have a word from our sponsors. Also, because the video only records 20 minutes at a time.
Fair.
But we're going to go to our sponsors, a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with some more very interesting stuff to talk about.
Finger guns on 3. 1, 2, 3.
You're currently tuned in to the Magnified Reality Podcast.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button to unlock ultimate happiness and enlightenment.
Yeah!
Yeah!
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't go anywhere. We just hit the stop button on the video and restarted.
We took a brief intermission and we talked. I forgot what we talked about already.
Very, very heavy stuff.
Very heavy stuff.
Not heavy people, but heavy subjects about people.
Yes.
What's your take on that? We were just discussing the people who get offended by using the wrong terminology and who refer to it as assault. What do you think?
And I don't want to offend anybody by saying this. This is just my opinion. But I feel like we have been enabled as like a society to think it's okay to be offended by such petty things, like you see these memes all the time, just back in like, let's say the early 1900s. At 18, you're being shipped off to war. You know what you're doing at 18 nowadays? You're crying because someone offended you. It's a huge change, and I think it's wrong, You shouldn't be offended because someone made a mistake. I know you mentioned the lady at the college campus who felt assaulted because she didn't address how she wanted to be addressed. I think that's completely ridiculous, and I think like it's become a societal norm that we address people out of respect as sir or ma'am, not hey you. And that kind of respect should already be recognized as, oh, he's not trying to offend me or assault me. They were kind enough to say hello ma'am or hello sir. Even if I don't identify as a ma'am or sir, I should respect that they have acknowledged me in a respectful manner. Leads me to another story. I used to be a server, still am a server. Sucks sometimes. No restaurants will be named. At my previous job, I worked with an individual who very much so identified as a woman, still biologically a male. And I believe no matter what kind of sex change surgery you go through, you will always biologically be the gender you were born as. Anyway, this server, I had just started there, and server did me a favor. So I say, "Oh, thank you, good sir." And quickly corrected, "It's ma'am." And I was just like, fuck, I felt so bad because I really thought she was a male. I come to find the next day, I go into the bathroom to change before my shift, and who was standing at the urinal taking a piss like a big boy is the ma'am that I had offended the night before. So I was, it's just you assume things because they're just obvious, and you shouldn't be blamed for that kind of stuff. What else offends people? Words.
Well,
words.
we probably offended half of our audience.
We probably did.
No, guys. This is just an open discussion. Everybody's allowed to have their views. By all means, we don't want to push our views onto you guys. We just want to start a conversation. These are our views, and if you have complete opposite views, those are valid, and they're just as valid as our views too. So feel free to share for sure.
Almost definitely.
Yeah, in a respectful way. We joke around. We're like, hey, we're gonna offend you and this and that. That's just the tone of this podcast. It's supposed to be goofy.
Yeah, we're just having fun here. We don't hate any of you. Like, we respect people as humans, and yeah.
We all got different views. So those were our views. But you know what really grinds my gears? Grinding my gears while I'm driving. Oh no!
Shit!
Clutch. With that said, we were just discussing the lady at the campus, which is, if I saw that at the college campus or whatever university, I would think that's weird. So, have you seen any weird shit like that? I'll tell you about one in a bit. I got a good one, but what about you, man?
Maybe not situations, but I've seen people doing weird shit at school.
That's college.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Like meth?
No, not like meth.
I meant math.
Math.
Yeah.
That's weird. Sneeze!
For those of you new to the show and first time we hear Christian sneezing, every time he sneezes, literally every single time he sneezes, he has to say the word sneeze.
It's just how I sneeze. It's natural.
It's fucking natural, dude. Like, I've never heard you sneeze without saying sneeze, dude. Sneeze! That's weird. I hope you don't feel offended.
I'm offended
by calling your sneeze weird.
I identify as a
sneezer,
a strong sneezer. That was put in the category as the.
Well, I'm offended that you're offended by me calling you a sneezer. So you know what? Let's jump into the next topic before I get pissed.
Weird shit at school. I want to start this one off. It's not totally weird, but I think everyone should express themselves the way they want to be. Just do what you like. But it's weird when you see one dude just going ham without any music in his headphones or whatever. There were no headphones, let me clarify that. Just dancing out in the middle of the courtyard, and everyone's just like,
okay,
what the fuck is going on? So that's not really weird. I think that's cool, more power to you. Now, if you want to get into weird, in one of my lecture classes, there's like so many students, just rows upon rows of students. And some of these, I'd like to say privileged students, they didn't have a notebook. No, they had a laptop to take their notes. Fancy, I know. I was never one of those kids. Wish I was. Anyway, I'm looking down. I used to sit at the very top just because I was that kid. And a few rows down, this kid's got fucking porn on his thing. And there's people sitting right next to him.
Wow.
And you can tell he was trying to be discreet. But, why go to a lecture class if you're not going to pay attention? You just got,
porn?
Yeah, the screen was, literally, this big. So it was just on the corner of the screen.
But you had porn.
But you could just see, movement. And I'm just like, the fuck? And, yeah. Money shot. And I was like, oh, that's porn. That's porn.
Can you recreate what was on the screen using this water bottle?
Absolutely.
But look that way. No. That's terrible. That's terrible.
That's what happened.
Well, I got something weirder than that. So check this out. This was 2011. I have video to prove it. Unfortunately, I cannot upload it or show anybody because everybody would get offended. And this one,
everybody would get offended.
But I mean it. Like, I almost got offended. So this is 2011. So it was still the time when, stuff was different. This guy goes to school. He doesn't even go to school, actually. This was when I was going to UNM. This is a man that just went onto campus. I really don't think he even got permission from, the Board of Activities or whatever it's called. This man was a man in his probably late 30s, maybe early 40s, tall, Caucasian. That's very important. Now, I don't want to make it so much about race, but it is very important that he was a tall, white man. He had a tattoo on his face, kind of like
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, exactly.
Yeah.
That tattoo, he had pretty much the same thing on his face. I don't know if it was real, but he goes up to, he was kind of like trying to push a religion onto everybody, but the religion, and I cannot say it, but it's the N-word, the actual N-word. And then, you know how there's activism, there's
like
isms.
N-word, like network? Or like
not network.
nanny?
Like not nanny. The Ninja. Okay. Jokes aside, you guys know exactly what N-word I'm referring to. He was picture the N-word and then like vegetarian, but with the N-word in the beginning. N-wordtarian. Yeah, he was trying to spread that like I practice N-wordtarianism. I believe that we are all N-words. I'm an N-word. And he gets me and my friends. I believe you three are N-words, and we can all be N-words. In fact, I changed my name. I legally changed my name to Mr. N-word. And then he shows us his ID. It literally said the N-word and then whatever the hell his last name was. So and I was like, this guy has to be trolling.
Dedication, man.
Like, he has to be trolling. But no, like, I was recording him, and he was not kidding. I don't know. He was like, everybody's an N-word, but like not. He didn't mean it like in a derogatory way, but like it was just so weird. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. That's the weirdest thing ever. I don't think I've talked about it since. I don't even know how to express that. But
you beat my story. I'm sure there are tons of kids who have like been watching porn in class, but I've never seen that happen. No.
Well, that's college. I mean, I've got a lot of other stories, but that's the weirdest one that I could think of just right off the top of the dome. And guys, if you guys are college students or went to college or even high school, let us know what the weirdest thing you've ever seen there. Let us know. We definitely want to check that out. Read that.
Definitely do.
And probably make fun of you guys. No, I'm just kidding. No. But anyways, speaking of school, guys, I don't know. What's something that you're looking forward to after, the semester's almost over?
Oh, dude. Sleep, cocaine.
What?
What? Next time on the podcast.
Yeah, join us next time for our anti-drug podcast where we will have an intervention.
And we're going to have special guests, former officers who taught DARE in elementary schools.
DARE was whack, dude.
Dude, DARE was super whack.
Oh my gosh, thank you for bringing that up.
Fun fact.
Go ahead.
Fun fact.
Hit him.
They discontinued doing DARE, which is drug and alcohol.
I don't remember.
Something about anti-drugs. Drug alcohol resistance education. And they actually had the opposite effect. Rather than steering kids away from it, they exposed the kids to it and made them curious about said drugs. And they had to stop doing it because of that.
Like here, kids, this is how you do meth. Now, don't do it.
Don't ever do meth.
Don't ever do this. But keep in mind, these are the right ingredients. Don't do meth.
Never hold your crack pipe like this.
Like this. You hold it like this, but don't do it.
But don't do it. And never, when you're holding a crack pipe, never put your little torch at the bottom like this.
Do it like this.
You don't want to do that.
Dare, man.
Dare.
When those guys would go, like, everything would just go over my head. Like, I didn't care about drugs. Like, all I wanted to do was go home and play GameCube and Nintendo and stuff, you know?
You fucked us up, Dare. You fucked us up.
God damn it, Dare. Why? Have you seen the trailers of the movie Truth or Dare?
I have. I actually am planning on seeing that tomorrow.
Great. On the next episode, hear Christian's movie review of Truth or Dare. I kind of want to watch it, but I don't know. It looks kind of cheesy.
My theory is it's probably going to be the cheesiest, stupidest movie of all time, or it's going to be fantastic.
Yep. There's no in between.
There's no in between.
Speaking of in between, that's what she said. There's a lot of great movies coming out this summer, dude. I'm excited, first of all, for Marvel, Marvel's Avengers, Infinity War.
That looks
I'm
good.
so stoked. In fact, I'll probably go to Walmart right now and buy some Blu-rays to catch up on the MCU.
Real quick, speaking of nostalgia, I don't know who I'm speaking to on YouTube. If you're too young, you might not know this. But there's a movie that just came out called Rampage. Did you ever play Rampage on the PlayStation?
I played it on the
climb
64.
Yeah, dude.
The 64, yeah.
That looks... I don't know. That's also either going to be an awesome movie or it's just going to be so bad.
I think it got mixed to negative reviews, but it's kicking ass in the box office, so that's...
I still want to see it, dude. I mean, giant monsters fighting each other. What more could you ask for?
You just gotta, like, those kinds of movies, you gotta take them for what they are. So you can't go in expecting, like, oh, man.
You can't expect an Oscar-winning movie.
Rampage. or a story, like a cohesive, like, story that makes sense. You gotta go in, like, expecting dumb action, just people beating each other or monsters destroying shit. Like, that's what the movie's about. So, the one that I have really high hopes for is Jurassic World 2. Oh, man. Dude, I'm a huge fan of Jurassic Park. As a kid, I wanted to be a paleontologist.
You'd have been Ross on Friends.
I would have been Ross on Friends, yeah. You might be too young again, kids at home. Friends was a very popular show. But anyways... Looking forward to those movies: Jurassic World, Infinity War, Truth or Dare, Deadpool 2. Deadpool 1 was awesome. It had a low budget, and this one has, like, I don't know if it's double or I don't know how much budget, but it's gonna kick so much ass. And what else is coming out? Ant-Man 2, great movie.
Is that a Han Solo movie coming out? Star Wars story?
Star Wars, yeah. I have not seen an entire Star Wars movie yet. That's the face everybody...
What?
I'm not even looking at him, and that's the face everybody makes
the fuck?
When I tell them, like, I haven't seen a Star Wars movie.
Dude. What? I have them all, dude.
I'm afraid to watch it because I know I'll get into it. Like, I used to read the books in middle school. I was like a book nerd.
Hey, guys, like this video if you think Manny should watch Star Wars.
Yeah. And if you don't think I should, just don't do anything. Just don't dislike.
Yeah, just...
All right, so yeah.
Sponsor us, LucasArts. Star Wars.
You kids and your Spock and your Star Trek.
Oh
and
yeah, dude, I was never into Star Trek.
Vulcan, whatever they're called, and your R2D2s and your. Fun fact: in Mexico, R2D2 was known as Arturito. like little Arthur. Arturito, like little Arthur, you know? You add Ito at the end of any fucking, like, look at this. I'm eating a gansito, dude. It's a ganso candy. Gansito.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us, gansitos. Fun fact. And you know what? That is an amazing topic that I want to hit next time on the podcast. Mexico, I mean, for those of you who don't know, I grew up in Mexico till I was 7 years old, which were the formative years of my life, and a lot of the stuff, you know, like it's very different culture. Like the cartoons that we grew up on right here in the U.S. were pretty much the same as in Mexico, but like the culture differences, like the name differences, that's something that I would like to, you know, talk about next podcast. Like Arturito right now, like that's hilarious, you know, like how stuff gets translated over the border. But it won't be much longer if Trump builds that wall. So next time, politics on
Politics on
Podlitics. That should be the name of the podcast.
Podlitics.
Podlitics. Wait, what? Podlitits.
You just offended so many people right now.
I apologize for everybody who I offended by making that joke.
Next time, this is my girlfriend's move actually. The double points with no finger guns,
No,
just the points.
No trigger.
Just really lame, but yeah.
Next time, Christian is a single man on next episode. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for joining us on this very controversial and very
very heartfelt
conversation
that we all just had.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we all learned something about each other.
I'm very offended that you would even assume that we learned something about
Did
each
you just
other.
assume that I learned something from your podcast? All right, for real, next time.
Oh my god, you broke me. All right, guys, for real. Yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate it. Like we said, if the platform you're listening on allows for comments, let us know what you think and what we should talk about in future podcasts. Until next time, we have been your host, Manny.
Christian.
God, I thought you were
Brain fart.
Brain fart. He forgot it. He forgets his name. Anyways, thank you guys so much. What was it? Snap guns?
Finger guns.
Finger guns.
It's like the coolest move ever.